Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new episode of Nanatsu no Taizai, Imashime no Fukkatsu, or you could call it The Seven Deadly Sins, The Revival of the Commandments, which is on episode 11. Now, this episode right here was actually pretty cool. I actually had a lot of enjoyment and fun out of it, and looking forward to the next episode. So, if anything else, let's just get this started. We have to it that after a certain recap, we have to it that King is clashing against Meliodas and used status promotion, and made Meliodas gush out some blood after doing a freaking scar or wound on Meliodas' arm. Then after the opening, we get a scenery switch with Bond and talking to Zhivago. We have to it that Zhivago's actually surprised to see Bond still young while he should be in his 40s, but Bond therefore tells Zhivago that he actually drank the fountain of youth, etc., and he can no longer get old or die. He's immortal. And even Zhivago's really shocked and surprised about it, and Bond explains how the guardian of the fountain of the youth is just someone he fell in love with, and she is precious to him, but she's dead. And we have to it that he has a little fun time by making fun of Elaine, saying that there's a cockroach, and says oh, you're my first human that I don't hate, yada yada yada. And we have to it that Zhivago also looks at the irony where Bond cannot die, but he can't reunite with his lover because he can't die. But Bond says, crying and complaining is not gonna help. It's only gonna, etc. But we also see to it that there were a couple scenes where Harade apparently says the animals are really starting to act a little strange. But what's going on here? And we see to it that Zhivago does not know anything about reviving the dead, etc. after talking to Bond a couple things. But he also asks Bond, is there something else you're struggling with? And we have to it that Bond says, what are you talking about? And Zhivago's like, I'm your father. I know something is wrong with you. I know there's something wrong should my son be struggling with. So tell me, what's up? We have to it that Bond explains that he also had a friend and his lover, but he decided to choose his lover over his friend. He tried to kill him. And Zhivago's like, so did you kill him? And Bond's like, no, I didn't. But ever since he's a good-hearted fool, you know that? It's like even when I tried to attack him and I tried to kill him, he just smiles and forgives me. That look on his face, he's not even mad at me or he even wants revenge. I mean, it makes me sick. And therefore, he even says that he's a worthless, he's the worst of scum. He chooses his love over his friend. He tried to kill him, but his friend still forgives him. Zhivago tells him you got a good friend. You got a good friend right there, and you want to cling on to him because you're disgusted with what you did. And Bond said, yeah. Zhivago tells Bond a couple words by saying, listen to me. All that self-loathing in the world won't do you any good. Just convey how you feel about the person, okay? It's just like how it was for me throughout the many years of my life when I couldn't save my son and I thought you were dead. So don't keep it balled up inside yourself, okay? Let it all out. And just ask for forgiveness from the bottom of your heart. Those are the last words for you as your father. And therefore, it looks like he passed on as he dies while sitting up, etc. Which is really sad, but old age tends to get to you and will kill you in the end. It's inevitable. That's the freaking weakness of mortality. You're not gonna live long, etc. And we see to it that after the half point, we have to it that King ends up fighting Meliodas and asks him a couple questions like, what's your goal right now, huh? What are you trying to achieve? Although, when King and Meliodas clash against each other, etc., after using status promotion, etc., we have to it that they actually end up fighting each other, even though it's at the same time training. I mean, I think against these two, even with Meliodas at his weak point right now, it seems pretty nice. But we have to it that after King asks a couple questions of Meliodas asks King a very cruel question by saying, are you actually a fairy king? Because you know the previous fairy king and the fairy king before that actually had prominent wings. So why is it that you don't have any? King gets really upset about this and tells him to shut up because he's the one asking the questions. He therefore summons a little small liquid ball from the twig and ends up trying to hit Meliodas. But we have to it that Meliodas does the same thing with his darkness, I guess, and turns it into a small ball. And we have to it that King and Meliodas stop fighting for now, as they are told by Jenna to get out, etc. And we see to it that King warns Meliodas if you Diane and Bond trust you very much. If you betray that trust, I won't forgive you. You hear me? And we have to it that Meliodas says, I can't tell you everything. And even if I did, I don't think you believe me, honestly. And we have to it that King says, if that's your answer, I'll keep an eye on you from now on until whether I know you're a man we can really trust or not. And King even asks Meliodas, do you remember what you said to me when we first met? And he goes never mind, just forget about it. We have to it that Jenna's look, what the heck were you guys fighting about? While Meliodas just trying to make a joke about it, we have to it that King feels a little bit pain on his back, which is pain on his back after they got out of the freaking training room. And we have to it that was a little small hint, which is a little spoiler by the way, but I'll let the anime only figure that one out eventually. But we have to it that Meliodas asks, can I have my power back now? And we have to it that Jenna's fine. And therefore summons sealed up orb, and it ends up shrouding up the freaking Druid sacred altars. And we have to it that after it goes into Meliodas, it ends up making a giant wave and freaking crazy storm whatsoever. And we have to it that the Jikai recognizes this strength and they go oh hell no, it has to be him. Even Zeldris says so himself. He goes there's no mistake, it's him alright. And we have to it that Meliodas asks Merlin for a little help as he wants to have a little small greeting with the 10 Commandments. And we have to it that Merlin says, you only have 10 seconds, alright? Just make sure you return not a dead corpse or something. We have to it, they go are you sure? This is pretty crazy. And Meliodas is it's just a greeting. He therefore shows up right in front of the 10 Commandments and says, hey, what's up? We have to it that Galen tells everyone not to lay his hand on him because he's his prey. But Meliodas just punches freaking Galen right in the face and drops him dead on the ground. And freaking we have to it that Galen tries to hit freaking Meliodas with whatchamacallit, freaking chaotic judgment whatsoever, but that didn't work either. So we have to it that Galen says, hey, you changed a lot since we last met, so what's up with it? And Meliodas is I just returned a bit to my old self. And therefore he ends up beating Galen up some more and pummels him down freaking Galen turned into his little bee, dude. I'm not playing. If you guys watch the episode, whether it be a raw or subbed, Meliodas was pounding Galen like a little bee right there. And Jenna's hey, did Meliodas really cut off his emotions or something? But Zanelli says no, he didn't. What dwells within him is not a wrath like turbulent, uncontrollable fire that wastelands everything, but it is a wrath like a deep sea that swallows everything. Meliodas has complete control over his wrath or something. He freaking and we have to it that Galen was actually happy about this and was about to hit Meliodas with his weapon, but Meliodas just sheaths his sword right away, just grabs his sword and sheaths it right away, and just in a matter of 1 or 2 seconds, he just cut Galen off right off, and freaking everyone just can only stare into shock right now, and they go he's gonna be a difficult opponent. And we have to it that Meliodas hey, come on now, I'm just here to give you a little small greeting and just have a little small talk with you. Come on, man, it's been a long time. And we have to it that Zeldris tells Meliodas, there's nothing I want to talk to you about. The only thing that exists right now is like we have anger and hatred towards you of what you just did, and desire revenge against the 4 clans that freaking sealed us away. And Meliodas is like, oh, come on, Zeldris, don't be like that. Can't you at least hear me out? I mean, like, we're brothers. And also, he's even warned Zeldris, like, well, already in peace right now, but if you're gonna go all out and continue where we left off, the 7 deadly sins are gonna crush you with everything we got. And therefore, Zeldris is like, I told you already, there's nothing to talk about. And Meliodas is like, this isn't a talk, it's a warning. And therefore, before Zeldris and Fraudulent could do anything to Meliodas, he ends up teleporting right back, right away after the teleportation time is up. Garland therefore said, so, to think that this is his strength as the accursed demon, I never thought he'd be this much, but it's making me sick, and therefore Garland can only scream in total rage and agony of his defeat right now. So, in this episode right here, it does show a scene with Bond and Zhivago bonding, and Zhivago telling him, don't have all that self-loathing, go be honest with yourself and let it all out and talk to your friend and ask him for forgiveness. And the scene with Meliodas and King clashing against each other, and then they come to somewhat of a truce for the time being. And Meliodas getting his power back, go to the greeting with the 10 commandments, and pummels Garland right in the face for round 2 like no tomorrow. That's all I can really sum up to you guys right now if you guys don't like the details. So overall, I thought the episode was pretty slick. Looking forward to the next one. Until then, I'll see you guys in my next video. So I'm Alpha Zero, people. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toodaloo!